Are you sitting comfortably? Then
I
we'll
am.
begin. This is how I'm going to do everything of this from here on in. From high atop, this is the mountaintop of Mount Manitoba, and I'm your host, Kirk Buchner. Who am I? I run, I operate, along with Evan Nolan. Every now and then he shows up, but it's not in halloffame.com, along with the sister sites, the Fictitious Athlete Hall of Fame, the Fictitious Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and the United States Athletic Hall of Fame. Vote now. You can all be a part of the United States Athletic Hall of Fame first class because nobody trademarked it until I did. So there you go. Vote now, www.notinhalloffame.com/USA. I know Brad's there. I know Andrea does that, but let's introduce them first. Andrea Tessmann. She came back. She did a whirlwind tour of the subcontinent where she was not just told everyone about what she does, but she was recognized for what she does. If I say it enough times, it must be true. And along with Brad Nelson. And if you take off the B, it's Rad Nelson.
Be rad.
Well, no,
And if you take off the D, I'm Bra Nelson, which means that I'm named after something that's very close to what I love.
Chester?
Do you wear a bra, Kirk?
I could.
Well, then I could love you too.
All right. If I push them close enough, it might look okay, except for the fact I'm very, very hairy.
Okay, well, when I make it to Mount Manitoba, I'm totally motorboating you.
I'm more likely to sort of like make it over there to the British Columbia. So
motorboat regardless.
All right. Well, let's move on. Well, this is a little bit delayed because one of us got completely drunk last time we tried to do this.
Sorry.
No, it was me.
No, I'm apologizing for Andrea.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah.
But this is definitely going to be a lot better because you see, well, actually, let's speak with Andrea first because Andrea was the one who decided that I'm the one who decided we're going to move on from how the hell did this go number one to how the hell was this a hit? And the whole point of it was we were kind of running out of number ones that I wanted to rag on. And I sort of thought, okay, Andrea, we're going to pick some crap, like utter crap. And here's the rules. It has to be a top 40 hit in the United States, even though we're all Canadians. But
good day, eh?
But realistically, I mean, like Canada, USA, not much different. But I mean, we do appeal to a more American audience. Go figure. I know that must be true because I had a couple podcasts where I did one on the Beachcombers, and I said like this other guy knows nothing about Canada, and it was me. Even though my partner on that wasn't American. But anyway,
moving right along.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
The whole point, though, was to sort of like pick something different. And Andrea picked One Night in Bangkok. And before I ask you why, I was a little bit initially upset. I wasn't surprised you went there because you dropped hints that this was going to happen. And you used this as a bit, if you said like retaliation, because we closed off How the Hell Was This Number One? Or I decided we're going to do a whole disco extravaganza. And thank you to our guest, Will, last time, who was phenomenal. Check that out. Man, some of the stuff
it was great to have him here.
Oh yeah, and he'll be back. He will be back. I mean, anyone who sort of like was part of Play That Funky Music, White Boy, even if it was 14 years later in the same band, is still pretty damn awesome. And that's the most interesting thing about him. So check that out if you can. But the song to me was something that I liked a lot when I would have been 12, 13, whatever. I loved this tune back then. Brad, you and I are the same age. Initial thought when you heard that as a kid.
No, absolutely. I was digging on it when it came out and what have you. I had no idea until I met Andrea, and even then, it was 10 years into our friendship that she had mentioned that it was part of chess, and I didn't know because I love musicals. You cannot find
which
chess.
Was why Andrea did this as a revenge to me because I hate musicals. So just put that in.
Well, it's because you put us through the musical syphilis that is disco.
Syphilis? I never did
musical syphilis.
Musical syphilis is never syphilis.
Okay, gentlemen, stop talking over each other.
She's doing her job.
Yes. Dear.
Every once in a while.
Anyway, I had no idea it was part of the musical, and I'd never heard of chess. I'd seen the album cover multiple times, but never listened to the full album. And so Andrea has the 411 on this whole sitio.
Yeah, I mean, it was a concept album by music was by the Bjorns, the Bees from ABBA, Bjorn and Benny.
Benny and
Oh,
Bee.
Bjorn,
And
if I believe correctly, right?
but
Bjorn was, I think it was Bjorn who did most of the heavy lifting, from what I
Okay.
remember.
they wrote most of the music together, I believe.
Mhm.
Bjorn wrote a lot of the lyrics with Tim Rice.
And tell everyone who Tim Rice is, because that's a very big name. I find it really interesting too, because correct me if I'm wrong. This is actually sort of like back to back. We closed one thing with a bit of Jesus Christ Superstar with Yvonne
Mhm.
Elliman, and Tim Rice is part of that too, or
Tim Rice was, yeah, the main writer of Jesus Christ Superstar. I think also with Bjorn.
okay. But Bjorn
And
did
yeah,
that Jesus Christ Superstar then because that was like pre ABBA.
I believe so. I
Oh
could be
wow.
wrong on that one,
Okay.
but I
To the
thought I
Google
saw his name
machine.
credited when we were looking at it.
Mhm.
And yeah, so they wrote a concept album, then turned it into a musical. The concept album did pretty well. The musical,
Did
it
not.
lasted. It did not. It didn't really have any real success outside of London.
I tried.
Um,
Sorry, I don't. And this is like I want to ask, like I guess more Andrea this one here. Uh, did you ever see this play? Because like to my knowledge, I couldn't find if this ever played in Canada or really
I
anywhere
don't
outside
think
of
it
the
ever
UK.
did. I was introduced to it by my aunt and uncle. My uncle saw it, I believe, in Sydney, but maybe in London.
Mhm. Well, why don't you tell everyone
Beyond that,
what it's about?
so it's essentially it's a loose rendition of um, Bobby Fischer playing Brad,
Kasparov.
who's the yes, um, and it's kind of an analogy for the Cold War. You've got the Russian and the American dueling it out. They're in Bangkok for this tournament, and then
Oriental
there's
setting. Sorry.
what the city don't know
City.
what the city is got.
Mhm.
The yeah, so then there's a love story between the Russian and the American secretary, and the Russian's trying to abdicate, and there's a fun song around that with the Russian like or yeah, the diplomats.
So it's
And
the American secretary who's fallen in love with a Russian character,
yes,
American secretary or American agent?
I
Because I
thought it was
was
the
reading,
secretary.
I was reading.
Might
No,
be the
I
agent.
don't know. I mean, like I tried to find the play and I couldn't.
She works for him.
Okay.
That's yeah. She works for the American. She and the Russian are having a love affair. There's some other jilted lovers in there. All of the great things you need for a musical.
I would
I
really
don't
love to an opportunity to see this, but you can get a really crappy theater capture on a garbage camera on YouTube, and that was all I was
I
able to
sent
find.
you with Saturday Night Fever from this playhouse in New Jersey. But anyway, what?
but no, Kirk, I couldn't find anywhere that it had played in North America. And I think the crappy garbage footage is because the last time it played was probably in the early 90s.
Mm-hmm.
It was a long time before I even realized, like yourself, that this was about chess, which it feels so stupid when you look at the lyrics.
The
I
creme
get
de la
my
creme of
kicks above the waistline, sunshine.
creme de la creme of the chess world. In a show with everything but Yul Brynner.
Rule Brenner.
I do have one issue with some of the lyric, well, with one lyric. One town is very like another when your head's down over your pieces, brother. But everything before and after is describing fucking Bangkok. Like
Mm-hmm.
this is not like anyway.
No, because right before that he says something about he lists a bunch of cities. He said you don't play in any ordinary city. It's Iceland or the Philippines
Mm-hmm.
or
Or
this
this
place.
place.
But a bunch of other shit though was very descriptive.
Well, and the funny
And
thing
the forest.
was, we had touched on this before, is that Bangkok, well, Thailand in general, banned this song because of how shitty it was to Bangkok itself.
I'm sure that
It's
really affected tourism.
yeah, this whole song is the backup singers extolling the virtues of how beautiful Bangkok is and all the stuff you can do. And Murray Head in this sarcastic, just
Smarmy.
nasally, smarmy voice, just tearing it to shit.
Is it ma'am, is it swarmy or is it just because he plays the American? So
Yeah.
if we can, Murray Head, going back to the Jesus Christ Superstar, I have to like actually watch this because Superstar Billy Graham, who used to come out to a pro wrestler who just passed away, and Evan and I will talk about that shortly. Uh, Also, Winnie wants to make an appearance.
Hi,
Hello,
Winnie.
Winnie.
This is a Winnie the Mini Dashland. No.
Winnie's awesome.
Yeah, Winnie keeps me in line.
Mm-hmm.
Murray Head was part of that Jesus Christ Superstar, and I thought up until like a week ago that he was a one-hit wonder.
Yeah,
In
as
the
did
United
I.
States, that's true. But he did the Jesus Christ Superstar, which
Yeah,
hit in the
he's a
UK.
theater guy.
Yeah.
And that's why I think Andrea was right in picking this one for the how the hell did this go #1? Because this is a piece of musical theater. It shouldn't have made the charts like it did. I mean, you don't see Phantom of the Opera or When You're a Jet all the way, hitting the tops. They aren't. Even Maria,
I'm
it's
pretty sure that Phantom had a couple songs in the top 40.
but did they chart?
That well, that
Well,
it
this
beat the
song went
top
number
40.
3 in both Canada and the United States.
Yeah.
Yeah.
#1 in a lot of countries. I didn't check to see in the UK,
I
but I think even more interesting because Murray had when I looked at that because I'd never seen him sing before, so I just thought he was just someone who did the spoken word thing. You know,
Hmm.
he can sing. He does not
Yeah.
hear. Uh, but that also sort of plays in with that weird new wave avant-garde
Yes.
could click. The video isn't crap.
the video's fun.
Hmm.
I,
It's so cheesy and so 80s.
It
And
is.
it's fun. The people dressed in black and white like suit jackets and almost nothing on the bottom dancing around on a chessboard like
Oh yeah.
does it
it's
also? Oh, sorry, God.
oh, I was just gonna say it's camp, pure camp.
Does it
But it's
also?
theater style camp. Like it's that it's got a real theater motif going on to it with the outfits and the raising and the lowering of the platforms and everything else. Like the last little bit when Murray Head comes out of the bottom of the chessboard, it's great.
What I found interesting though too is in my research is that Murray was sort of like doing this with his New York accent, and this did not feel like a New York accent at all. And at the
No,
same
it's got a
time,
bit of a Jersey twang, but
does it?
not it's a bad New York accent.
Bangkok, Oriental City. But it's kind of got the 50s sound of like
50s
radio plays
news
almost.
radio. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like maybe what he thinks an American would sound like after watching Happy Days.
Yeah, I mean, it's not quite
Perhaps.
it's not quite like 30s radio play, but 50s radio play almost, where they're trying to like they've got that accent, where they are talking like this. And so chances are Murray Head was probably pulling from that. And I don't know, man. The song is great. The song comes on in the car, and I'm driving, and the song gets turned up.
Andrew, you're more familiar with the whole soundtrack than either Brad and I. Uh,
Mhm.
I did try to listen to the whole soundtrack. I watched the whole Chess Vivo on YouTube. There's only the 4 songs. Does Murray sing on this? Like sing, like not do spoken word?
Um,
I don't believe so. No.
I don't believe so. There are songs with that character singing, but I don't believe it's Murray Head singing.
Oh,
My favorite useless trivia thing because I'm a big Buffy the Vampire Slayer fan of the TV show. Yeah, Brad, you already know where I'm going, so just fill that in.
Giles.
Yes, yeah, that's his brother.
Anthony Head and Murray Head are related.
Yes, they're brothers. So
Okay, so have you ever, and for those of you listening or watching us at this point in time, this is the recommendation of the evening. Have you ever watched Repo, a genetic opera, Kirk?
never heard of it.
It's time that you looked it up
Okay.
Oh,
because Sir Anthony Head is in that and he sings like crazy. Now,
I
Sir,
totally
going
didn't know that they were related.
Is he an
This
actual
is
Anyway.
this is I did because he warrants my respect in this.
Oh.
So bear in mind, this is done as a musical and almost a slightly Italian opera. It would be the only way I could, like, it's not your typical American musical. This is not like Hair or West Side or anything like that. This has got a lot of Italian opera DNA mixed into the ingredients in this one here.
That's not a selling point for me.
And no, because all I have to say to Andrea is one little line, and we'll get her going. She'll
Little
smile.
glass vial.
A little glass vial. Zydrate comes in a little glass vial.
A little glass vial.
He was the best
I am
part of
the
that
third
whole thing.
wheel on my own damn show.
No.
Oh,
Hey,
honestly,
every-
it's when Brad first made me watch this, and I say made me watch this because I was hesitant. I was like, "What the fuck did I just watch?"
Mhm.
But I think I've watched it like 4 more times since then.
It's
fair.
good. It's cheesy.
fair.
It's campy. It's brilliant. Kirk, honestly, give it a chance, and within the next week, we'll
Send me
reconvene
in
on
our
the next
chat group what it
podcast.
is I have to watch, and
Hang
I'll
on.
make
If you're
a phone
talking,
call.
you're not listening. You have one mouth and 2 ears for a reason.
Brad, that could go for you also.
Shh, don't make me look more hypocritical than I really am. What I was saying is, watch it this week sometime. We will reconvene on the next podcast. If you hate it, you're wrong.
And I'm just saying, send it to me because I don't remember shit. I'm old as fuck.
I'll send it to you, you old fuck.
Thank you. I might be the oldest. Don't look the oldest. But anyway,
I look the oldest?
you have a kid. I don't.
Well, yeah, but
None that I've
we both have
acknowledged
the
as
same
well.
amount of gray in the fur, and I have brighter eyes.
You do not.
I don't? Brighten your eyes up then. Let's get that little begging kitten look going on.
I'd
Pose
ask
for
Andrea to sort of like settle this, but I already
Nope.
know where this is gonna go, so I'm gonna like.
I'm not getting in between this one.
Kirk, take your shirt off.
No,
Come on, do it.
I would, but I mean, like,
I'll do it. I'll do it.
I know you. You've done it. With the jiggles that will sort of like come here from my top half.
Oh, baby, this is Jello, and there's always room for it.
Yeah, no, I mean, like,
Andrea's deeply invested in something else.
I'm trying to figure out if Murray had sang on the soundtrack.
Anything but
She's doing
talking
her
about man
job.
titties, eh?
She's doing her job. Okay,
It
so-
doesn't look like it.
all right. So
But also, I have to say that the American that is like the Bobby Fischer character, his name is Frederick Trumper.
Okay.
which was you didn't fucking think that.
No, nothing to do with Trump. I just still, that's all I'm gonna say.
I did see
Okay.
that. I did.
Kirk, I'm currently sending you over the
My homework.
Well, your homework, if you will.
Yes.
Right.
But also what do you call
I'll
it?
do
Have
it.
a look at the cast of this, because the cast is impressive.
I will.
Okay, but we're not here to talk about Anthony Head. We're here to talk about Murray Head.
So
Well,
yeah,
as long as we're
we have
talking
to
about
get the
Head,
proper head here.
I am in so long as we're talking about Head.
Yeah, well, you just have to like make sure that the head is proper. Otherwise, it's improper, and then the head didn't work.
Yes. What?
I don't know.
Sex is like pizza, man. Even if it's bad, it's still pretty good.
Yeah, I've had some partners that would either I would disagree with you and they would also, but thankfully that was a long, long time ago. Andrea, you have one job. Please help.
I was just gonna say, but I was gonna let you finish because I wanted to know where that train was going.
No, the train only moved that long, and that was it.
Okay, so back to Bangkok, Oriental City.
Yeah, well, thank God. Look, to be fair, just going back.
To be
I haven't been with
fair.
anyone else for 20 other years other than my wife. So I just want to point that out. Because like I've got no fucking game in any of this other shit that
So
I'll be.
what you're saying is you've got no hose in different area codes?
That would have been a great song for me in the late 90s, but no. I do. At this point, no,
No.
no.
So
Andrea
I
knows
tried to
more.
put us back on the
You
rails,
tried
and
to
the
hit on my
train went
wife,
away.
but anyway, go ahead.
I don't know what. So Kirk's just going off the rails over and over again.
Okay, well, okay. Here's where I want to go with this. I watched the other things on Chess Vivo, like on YouTube, and I could see why neither of those released, and if they were released, could ever have been a hit. Something about this one, and I especially like the extended one, dun, 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 which is like a 30-second.
Got the intro,
The
yeah.
whole, and the intro's great because it's kind of got that cheesy pseudo-oriental feel, but also a bit of like a Russian classical beat.
Almost imperial.
Yeah, it's really well done.
Mm-hmm.
And the flute.
It's also with the Oriental feel or Asian feel without being offensive. Because like
yes,
without being dun 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 dun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
it
that's
doesn't
exactly
go
it.
over the top. It flirts with being a little over the top, but it gives you the feeling that something is happening, like this song is taking place in an Asian country.
And then it just cuts straight to Murray Head's nasally fake American accent going, Bangkok, Oriental City, but the city don't know what the it's yeah.
Yeah.
And
It
it's
works as
got
a
some
single.
really great one-liners. Like
It does. And the interplay, which I didn't notice as a kid when I'm listening to this, but the interplay is brilliant. And again, it's borrowing from the musical genre that it's coming from, where you have like you were saying before, Andrea, the backup singers are extolling the virtues of Bangkok, and Murray Head is then shitting on them.
Yep. And he's even, well, to go back to where Kirk was saying it, he's saying, you've seen one stinking polluted town. It's from him saying, you've seen this, we're always playing in these exotic locations, and then they go, it's a shame, it's really such a pity to be looking at the board, not looking at the city. And then he goes, what do you mean?
Yeah. You've seen one stinking polluted town.
So yeah, he's just like, he doesn't give a shit where he is. He's just there to play chess. He gets his kicks above the waistline.
Sunshine. But yeah, and you got to bear in mind, this is also coming from Fisher's point of view, because technically Head is playing Fisher in chess, and Fisher was, I think, before the diagnoses that we have today, I believe Fisher was a little bit autistic.
A lot autistic.
Okay, a lot autistic. He was a lot autistic. So of course he's seeing things through a clouded lens. You know, his focus is on the game. He doesn't give a shit. I was in Bangkok. Yeah, well, the city don't know. I was there 2005-ish, I guess. Honeymoon for the second marriage, the good wife. Who, if you're watching, you're awesome.
You've been married twice?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
No, I had the practice marriage, and then I married a good person. But anyway,
wait a minute. You're not married. No, anyway, go on. Sorry.
I'm not currently married. No.
Okay.
No, I'm a free agent.
Okay.
I can play on any field.
Play ball. Anyway, go on.
So anyway, I was there. We did our honeymoon there. It was great, but honestly, I could give a shit about Bangkok because Bangkok was like any other town or any other city you've been to. It had a sky train, much like Vancouver's sky train, except it had doors that would close over the entrance before you got onto the train. But they did have one station in there called Bang Sue. I have a friend named Sue. I thought that was the funniest thing, so I had to bring home a picture of that for her. Anyway, long story short on that one there, Bangkok was definitely a city like any other city, because if you've been to a city before, they all kind of suck. They're busy, they're concrete. But when we got out of it, oh my God, Thailand is gorgeous.
Are you just trashing Bangkok because Aaron didn't let you go see the Ladyboys?
A little. Because I wanted to. I wanted to go and see to the Ladyboy bar, but the problem with that is I came back and I was all upset. I didn't see a ladyboy. We didn't get to go to the ladyboy bar, and I didn't see a
Maybe you
ladyboy. And
did.
somebody said to me, "Yeah, you did."
Yeah, saw some lady boys.
Yeah,
for
apparently
sure.
yeah, probably. I mean, I did.
Where did Murray Head
And
talk about this?
what?
Where did Murray Head talk about the ladyboys?
When
Ladyboy.
he said, "I'd
Wait a
let you
second.
watch, I would invite you, but the queens we use would not
Use would not
excite
excite
you."
you.
Oh, there you go. I had no idea that's what it was really about.
He's referencing drag queens for sure.
Mhm. Oh, you know what we have to do on this show one of these days, because I actually have a half decent impression, is how do you do I see you've met my faithful handyman.
I don't think that charted, unfortunately. Oh, it might have.
Oh, it
What the
should
hell are
have.
we talking about?
Time warp. Let's do the time warp again.
Okay, so Andrea and I just built a deck at her place
nice
for
deck.
her hot tub, and we were in the hardware store. That fucking song was playing on the hardware PA system.
I
So
have a bunch of other jokes in my head about Andrea's hot tub. Do you have a neighbor in mind you want to invite over?
I have not named my hot tub. No.
I didn't say
you
name
name
it.
a hot tub?
I didn't say
What?
name
What
the
is it?
hot tub. I'm just saying, like, is there somebody who you want to bring over? Might live right next to you,
Might live next to me.
or
Not
used to.
anymore. He moved out.
Oh, creepy neighbor dude thankfully moved in the fall. Yeah. Before I got the hot tub, because he
Yeah,
might have just
well,
tried to invite him. I might have come home and he'd just be chilling in there. That's a terrifying
Wearing these
thought.
shorts, sweetheart.
he's watching right now. Yeah, I hear you're talking about me there. I'll show
Oh,
you
now he sounds like
my
Herbert the
cock in my
pervert.
Oriental sitting.
Oh, geez. So anyway, back to the show. So
Yes.
this thing winds up charting for no apparent reason other than the fact that it was a banger. It was the 80s. New wave is starting to make its appearance, and this is new wave.
It's new wave. Here's another thing I found really interesting. How many times have we talked about a song where nobody's paying attention to the meat of the lyrics except for the chorus? Most people can, when they listen to this one, they can go Bangkok. They can do a bunch of other things, which I find fascinating. Because is this a first of all the songs we've ever talked about that we could say that people actually remember some of the meat of that as opposed to the chorus?
I think because it is so distinctively different, because there's the rap bits,
Also
there's
clear.
there's the background bits, and then there's the chorus. The words are clear, the words are clever. There's not a lot of there's a lot of innuendo. And there's a lot of clever
wordplay.
Yes, exactly. Which you as a 12 or 13-year-old boy might not have picked up on a lot of, but you probably still what?
I picked up on none of it.
But you still heard the lyrics and you could tell, like, the rap part is fun to say. There's a lot of like just forming the words is fun.
It was. I mean, I remember as a kid with a show with, and I did this, I think, with other like classmates. A show with everything but you, Brenna. It's not like Brenner meant anything to us.
Yeah, but because at the time you didn't know that Yul Brynner played the King in The King and I, which was a show about Thailand.
I knew he was a bald guy who was a legend and that died, and only because my dad showed me Magnificent Seven.
Yeah, and see, I knew him as a Western guy.
Yeah,
and I knew him as the King from The King and I. But then there's also like when I heard it, had no idea what the Tyrolean Spa was, but it's fun to say. Time flies. Doesn't seem a minute since the Tyrolean Spa had the chess bars in it. All games. Don't you know that when you play at this level, it's an ordinary venue?
Can I do an impression now?
Sure.
We've never stopped you before, and this is your show.
Technically, yes. All right.
I'm not gonna. Well, okay. I'm gonna ask you a question before you do, and I'm gonna ask: is it a good impression this time?
Horrible.
No.
Okay, so it's from the Magnificent Seven. It's Horse Buckles in that film. You tell me to clap my hands. You tell me to clap my hands. Thank you, master impressionist.
See, the best Western that was ever written was Blazing Saddles.
Mm-hmm.
Can you not just give me a minute to sort of like soak up what I just did?
No, we're trying to forget.
You want to smell your own farts for a minute? Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, because my brand's awesome.
This is a guy that Dutch ovens himself.
Not today, but okay.
Betty Dutch ovens Winnie.
No, Winnie does that.
With a face like that, she was asking for it.
How is that dog so calm?
Well, I don't know that she's necessarily that calm, but yeah.
Like Jasper wouldn't have sat in your lap like that when he was that age.
Well, Jasper is also 3 times the size of Winnie.
Yeah, Opal would not have sat in my lap like that. She's
No,
now
see-
giving me the side eye from her couch. No, she'd let me hold her for all of like 30 seconds, and then she'd be like, "No, I'm fucking the fuck out of here."
It's just a lot easier to hold her than to have those two run around. But anyway.
Fair.
So after this, that was pretty much it for Murray Head. In terms of the top 40 charts, which I don't think he gave a crap about. This was like, we've talked about.
He's a
this-
musical guy.
Yeah, we've talked about people like this before. It's like, who, holy shit, I have a hit. How do I make money off it? He's not that guy. Thank
No,
God.
he was all about the theater, and that's what he did, and it worked for him. Like, he had a great career after this. He had a great career before this.
Yeah, thank God he didn't go to Bjorn and Benny and say like, all right, we're on to something. Let's what do you got about checkers?
How about some sorry?
Yeah.
I get to be the shoe in Monopoly.
He recognized that this was like a one-off. Good on him. Good on all of this.
Yeah.
This was a very unique one. I'm glad we did it. I'm glad we covered it. Still not in sort of the vein I want to do with crap, but okay,
Yeah.
whatever. Brad,
But
do you
it-
have? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
It fell very much into the how the hell was this a hit? Because it is nothing like anything else out there ever.
Okay.
So I felt it warranted it. We'll dive into some crap soon, I'm
Fair
sure.
enough. And so with that, I'm giving it to Brad and also Winnie's butt. So Winnie is good.
Oh, look, it's an elephant. Hello, Winnie's butt elephant.
Right. So if you're gonna do that, so like Brad, what do you have next for episode 2 of How the Hell Was This? Sorry. Winnie.
For episode 2, I went in the same direction as Andrea did in picking a song that shouldn't have made it to number 1.
Musical.
No, it's not from a musical. But I did this because of the idea that this song should not have charted. This song should never have even been made for mass consumption, and yet it was.
Okay.
This is Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen. This is an operatic song. This is a song that is far too long to hit radio play, yet it did. It was cut down sometimes. It was played in its entirety other times. It's a 7-8 minute song. It should not have been on the radio. It shouldn't have charted as high as it did. It got to number 2, and it was embraced, and it made a comeback.
Weiss.
Wayne's World.
Wayne's World gave it a comeback. 100% it did.
Okay.
If you're gonna spew into this.
I did recently watch that again, both of them.
Yeah.
Tia, by the way, Tia, if you're watching this, I have one of those laminated friends cards, like that Ross and Rachel sort of like did. You're on it. So I'm just saying I get a free pass. Huh?
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 Andrew, look, while I'm doing this, you don't have to give that fucking face. Jesus Christ.
What you're talking about?
Like, well, it's possible.
It's possible that what?
It's until Tia Carrere says it's not possible. It's possible.
It's
Okay.
true.
Well, then, Miss Carrera, you'll have to
Oh, please.
break them
She's your
down.
hall pass. One of your hall passes.
It's one of my hall passes.
Oh, Betty White is dead. I don't have that hall pass anymore.
You have no one to need the hall pass with.
I have to move on to, well, no, but still, I have to move on to Dolly now.
Again, you don't need a hall pass. You're single.
I'm single.
I, however,
Just
with the same
putting that
person
out there.
for
Hey, Kirk,
years.
if you want to make me a billboard, like yell it out in your podcast, that's great. But make me a billboard or something and put your number in the comments.
Okay. Well, based on the comments that I've gotten, maybe you don't want necessarily some of them sort of like as your type.
You want
Actively
my
messaging
kind?
you.
I'm just saying is all.
Well, I'm just saying, if redhead with questionable morals and what's my thing? I had a saying for that. It's flexible morals and questionable standards. That's the one. If you're out there, let me know.
You had Brad at Flexible. With that,
Say less.
thank you. It's time to do some plugging. Also, you had Brad plugging.
Oh, I thought you said pegging.
You know,
I mean,
you know what
they
that
could
means.
be interchangeable. But Kirk, I heard. Did you write a book, Kirk? I heard a rumor that you might have written a book.
I heard.
Not only did I write a book, it's about the late, great Chavo Guerrero Sr.
You know what's coming up, Kirk? Father's Day.
Oh,
Ooh,
Chavo is
You know who would like a book about a wrestler?
fathers
Fathers.
There you go. And you can get that
on their day.
And you can get that on Amazon. Chavo Guerrero, instant classic. I helped him write his autobiography with a foreword by the late, great Roddy Piper. That's
Whose
pretty damn
masterwork was They Live.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Absolutely. So
Best fight scene in cinema history.
no, but it's
I have to shoot it down right away.
it's the most interesting fight scene in cinematic history.
Yeah, there's something to it.
There's a lot to it. The only belly to back suplex in a cinematic history fight scene that lasted 3 minutes. Is that an award? That has to be a stuntman award.
Got to be a Razzie in there somewhere.
Actually, Chavo Jr. did become it still is a very successful stuntman. So, yeah.
Nice.
Yes, yeah, very much so. So check that out. There's also a lot of other shows that I do because I cheat on these two because I have to.
You're Polly us?
No, I have nothing about Pauly Shore. What the fuck?
He's going on off of polyamorous.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Polyshorus.
Did Pauly Shore do a #1 hit?
Oh dear God.
Not Pauly Shore, polyamory.
Okay, sorry.
Pleasing the Jews.
Well, okay, yes. To that answer, yes. I have done some other programs. There's one that I'm going to be recording. I'm really excited about this one because I've been looking at this a bit late today because we are doing. It's a return. It is a return of the classic sports show. Huh? Hey guys, where were you when the Edmonton Oilers lost to the Winnipeg Jets in 1979 for the APCO Cup, the final WHA?
I was 6 years old.
Yeah.
I was not a spark in my father's eye.
Yeah.
No, but you might have been swimming around.
Well, I tackle that. It's actually the last game with Wayne Gretzky against not Brett Hull, Bobby Hull.
Did you know that I know so little about sports that when you said the return of, all I could think was Andrea?
The Jedi?
Well, the Mac.
Either works. Kirk has left the chat.
Return of the Mac. There it is.
Well, either way, we're recording that return show on Thursday. I'm very excited with my good friend, the greatest triathlete in Buffalo history, Glenn Pulowski. Glenn, how you doing? He's back from Antarctica. Why didn't you see him when you were there? Andrea, he's a triathlete.
I might have waved at him. We did stop by a few outposts, depending on where he was. I might have waved.
Well, you might have waved. I mean, again, He's a triathlete. It's right up there for you. It's age appropriate for you. Because, I'm just saying. I'm
Look it
just
out
saying.
for me. I appreciate that.
Well, there you go. So, and then we could call you Glen Andrea. That'd be a couple.
Yeah, I don't know about a long distance relationship with a dude in Antarctica.
He's now back in Buffalo.
Oh, Buffalo, that's like moderately closer.
I mean, than Antarctica, but still.
Well, he's going to go back to Antarctica, but it's like is
Ooh,
it
you
right up
could
there
have
when,
a dalliance in BC.
is it right up there when like American nerds say like I got a girlfriend in Canada?
Yeah, she's from Canada. You probably don't know her.
Yeah, there you go.
But
anyway,
then you ask any Canadian, they obviously would know her because.
Oh yeah, you know Bob? Yeah, I know Bob.
there you go.
Yeah, Bob lives in Saskatchewan.
Well, Glenn and I are back, and we're going to be looking at the last WHA game that ever happened, and it's pretty exciting. And I was sort of like doing a deep dive. Man, Wayne Gretzky's a drunk. I like that. I can't imagine why that appeals to me. But anyway, so that's actually something that we're going to be looking at.
Listen, you're both alcoholics. Drunks go to meetings. No, wait, no, you're
No,
drunks.
alcoholics go to meetings.
Yep, never
Drunks.
mind.
Why would I go to a meeting when I can sort of like do that online?
Yeah, pubs have lots of people. That's like a meeting.
It is.
Drunks go to pubs, alcoholics go to meetings.
That's the one. I got it mixed up. I got it confused.
Well, this works for me.
Yeah, no, you were right, Kirk. I was wrong. I'm sorry.
All right. Well, I also have other shows. Yes, Winnie, we have other shows that we do. Evan Nolan and I do the weekly Hall of Fame show where we look at Hall of Fame stuff. If you look at the last show I did, I saved the WNBA. If they listen to what I say, they won't. But if you listen to me, I can make that league profitable.
Okay, I honestly didn't watch that one, though I am curious, was it lowering the nets?
No.
Because people
Have
get
you seen
upset.
those women? They're
Nobody
tall.
dunks. Nobody dunks in the WNBA.
And yeah, that's not going to work. But I have a whole thing, and I put a lot of thought into it. I'm actually going to make a giant article about that, which will be read by nobody that's actually going to really pay attention to it. And I maintain that if I was the commissioner of the WNBA, I can make you profitable in 5 years. I know that I can.
If you ever wondered whatever became of me.
Here's the
I'm
living
playing
out
with the
here in
ball in
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati, WNBA.
They don't have a team. But anyway.
Oh.
Here's also to what I'm offering you, WNBA. I will bring you Brad and Andrea as my handlers. Every time I go too far, they're gonna say no. The only thing is, Andrea, I think you're gonna be hit on a lot.
I can't handle you, Kirk. Oh, poor puppy. Qu'est-ce que c'est?
She cannot stand to be on camera. I don't know.
She hates it.
Okay, so Andrea, but if I get that job, a lot of the players are going to be into you. Brad, not so much.
I mean,
with the WNBA?
Yeah.
No, they want a short king. I'm sitting at 5'9" and change, man.
Okay, clearly you know nothing about the WNBA, but anyway.
They were interviewing someone from the WNBA this morning on CBC, I want to say, and that woman sounded like a dude.
Brittany Griner?
Maybe, yeah.
Is that the one who was sort of like in Russia because she was stupid?
I don't remember. I was half
that's
asleep.
The one who got arrested.
CBC plays on my radio in the morning when I wake up, and I kind of half listen to it.
Yeah, there's a lot I can say about that. And I have. But yes, I can save you, but I can make you profitable. All you have to do is just, since you're not going to hire me as your commissioner, I gave all of my knowledge, all of this for free.
Maybe you can get a consulting gig.
Yeah, that's going to happen. But there's that. There's also the show I do with Chris Bournet, and our last shows, I don't know if it's going to be our last show ever, but the last one that we did with Small Wonder, actually, a lot of people were watching that on YouTube. So thank you for that.
That's rough, man. That shit doesn't hold up.
That's the point. But yeah, so like that one's actually doing pretty good on that platform. And we've got another one where we're looking at the Hit Me Baby One More Time, the UK version. So that's going to be up soon. I've got a couple other shows that are coming up. The show that, again, I said this last time, but I'm so proud of this. Vinny Lospinuso, my good friend who's only 22, 23. He's 22, 23. I don't know exactly how old he is, but he's got the soul of a senior citizen. He knows more about old people sports, like the history of sports, than anyone I've ever met. And
Like lawn bowling.
well, he's making a difference, Brad. I'm telling you. Uh, the last show that we did, the person he talked about, the son reached out to him,
Nice.
which was Vinny makes the Hall of Fame case for it. It was for Max Zlotski, someone who should be in the Basketball Hall of Fame. Vinny did a great job, and somehow Max's son saw that, and it makes me proud.
That's good.
It's like it's my 6'4" Italian American child who sort of is coming through with all this great crap. Everything else I have to promote is all sports related, and well, these two can't help me with that. So
I like sports. I like it when they put the thing and they take it from the one thing and they put it in the other thing.
all right, with that, I turned my head around again because last time I did that, they made fun of my hair, even though I have the better hair out of all of these three.
You do, because if I turn my head around, you can see the little bald spot going on there, and you don't have that. So turn around, bright eyes.
No, I got better hair than you. Sorry,
Oh,
Kirk.
yeah, god damn you. Doesn't count. You have girl genes. And
I
boots
know
with the
lots
fur.
of dudes that have better hair than me, but not either of you.
You got
Not
the
me.
girl jeans and the
No, I have
boots
better
with the
hair.
fur. Well,
I
I don't
said-
have boots with the fur anymore. I got rid of those.
oh, okay.
Well, turn around, bright eyes. I think we did that before. Either way, the show is over. It's come to a conclusion. Wherever you are, wherever you may be, from here on the top of Mount Manitoba, stay safe, everyone. This is the end of the Buchnerverse today.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Also, if you made it to the end of this, I want you to put it in the comments because holy shit, you're a trooper.
Or also say, I hate Brad. That'll work too.
That's fine. Yeah, I can accept that.
Right. With that,
Bye.
we all say goodbye, even when.
Good night. Good night, Winnie.